designed. So I'm very excited to introduce this next speaker. We are also, Deanne and I are a part of another group called Cowie. So if you haven't tried out Cowie yet, I'll put some contact information in the group. It's another ladies group that Marlene and I are a part of, and I have the honor of chairing the board of directors now for the next 2 years. We're trying to grow. So I invite each and every one of you to come out and check out Cowie. And Deanne has been a long time member of Cowie and has just recently just come back, and we got to meet and chat on a couple of occasions, and she is just amazing. Get your pens out. You're going to be blown away by the wealth of knowledge from this young lady. So I'd like to introduce you to Deanne Kelleher, Chaos Group, and she's going to talk about paving the way for sustainable growth and long-term success. Deanne has the pragmatic and energetic leader behind Chaos, is the pragmatic and energetic leader behind Chaos's group's vision and core four system, successfully and passionately helps clients to identify and implement the changes to their behind-the-scenes operations necessary for growth and success. Even profitable companies can lose money when their core operational structures are weak. Using proprietary tools like the Chaos Group Center of Excellence, COE, workflow systems, and her vast experience with several management methodologies, software, and tool families, Deanne develops systems customized to the client's environment that will save time and money. She can help you to expedite onboarding, increase sales, create powerful lead acquisitions processes, retain staff and clients, and build lasting relationships. Plus, she rolls up her sleeves and works with you every step of the way. As a speaker, she tailors her presentations for each engagement and generously shares her insight into how high-functioning, healthy workplaces are designed. With over 20 years of experience working with multinational corporations, manufacturing private label and boutique businesses, Deanne will revolutionize the way you work. Over to you, Deanne.
Thank you so much. I'd like to just make a note that I'm going to send a way shorter bio on me next time. I don't know. I just send one. Thank you though for going through that. Okay, so first off, I am going to share my screen. And secondly, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. One. Okay, we are good to go. If anyone was thinking of grabbing a piece of paper, I would definitely do it. So can everyone see my screen? It's just a PowerPoint. We're good.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's giddy up. First off, this gathering is powerful. Marlene, thank you so much for inviting me. I like how I threw your logo on my slide. Okay, so I won't go on about it, but the one thing I made a note of from this morning is what was said by Claudine at the very beginning, which is showing up consistently. And it's not like I'll talk today in this portion. It's not just about showing up outwards, but it's also showing up internally, like for us, for our business, for our core. So I'm not going to blab long because I got a lot of slides and yeah, I'm nervous. So the voice will calm down in a minute. So just bear with me. So yeah, I am the leader behind Chaos Group, our vision and the center of excellence. Workflow systems that we've created. And I do what Claudine says I do. And it's all about the behind the scenes processes and procedures, the behind the scenes operations, so that you can actually go and do what you are actually great at. So one of the things we ask is why measure? And when I actually ask the question to any business owner, like, hey, so are you actually measuring the effectiveness of your current operations? Most people, give me the lifted eyebrow, and then it leads to a very different conversation. So I get it. Hang on, I got to set my timer. There we go. So I get it. It's really, really easy to get lost in demands of running your business because you're actually responsible for so much. But the why we measure is really, really important, because by measuring our processes, we can actually correct, improve. We can control them, correct them, and improve them. And all of that has to do with our money. So we talk about the result is reduced cost, enhanced output, higher quality, call it whatever you want. Bottom line, it's about money. So if you think about what makes a business actually more sustainable, profitable, and enjoyable, it is the behind the scenes systems running smoothly. And when things aren't running smoothly, sometimes it's hard to identify where we're doing well and where we should be focusing our effort to actually see better results. And because it's tricky to reflect on our own, that's where Chaos Group comes in, and that's where I come in, because ultimately measuring gives us knowledge. And I have this great line, and I have to read how I wrote it because I've read this for years. Knowledge gives us the power to change many things. Sometimes the smallest tidbits of the right information can help exponentially. I love that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just briefly talk about everything I talk about is process. And I am such an advocate for you to have power and an understanding and the ability to benchmark your processes in your business. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a modified version of one of our operational excellence benchmarking tools so that you know where you're doing well. You can plan where efficiencies can be actually introduced into your business if you want. And we do this because, again, I know you're excellent at what you do. And when you're working with your clients, you are probably the happiest. But what I want us to explore is the depth of one key area of business functionality. And that is going to be marketing and advertising. And you can call it whatever you want. So I need everyone to grab a piece of paper. 8.5 by 11, 6 sticky notes. I don't care. So I'm going to talk. You're not going to miss anything for the next 2 slides. So grab your paper. And what I want you to do is I want you to divide it into 6 sections, just like you see here. You don't have to write all the words. You don't have to write the 1 to 5. You don't have to put in the lines. Just divide a sheet of paper into 6 sections. And we are one at a time. So those of you who like to plan ahead and be organized and ready, bear with me because I'll give you the opportunity not to miss a thing. So on the back side of your paper, I'd like you to answer this question. What are the hidden challenges in your business that you wish you had more time or resources to solve? I used to say this, hey, so what keeps you up at night? Same question, presented differently. So what are some of the hidden challenges, or what are some of the challenges that you feel are in your business that you just wish you had more time or resources to solve? What keeps you up at night? I'm going to rhyme off a couple of ideas here. So for some of you, it might be wearing too many hats. You juggle, sales, accounting, admin, all that stuff. Maybe it's finding reliable help, part-time help, outsourcing, social media people, whatever. Maybe it's keeping track of all your tasks and deadlines. And like you just have so much on your plate, you wish you had a better system for staying on top of things. Maybe it's balancing your personal and work life. I don't know, maybe it's generating consistent revenue. Maybe it's knowing how to read your P&Ls, like whatever. There's no right, there's no wrong, and nobody can cheat here. So no one's going to have any clue what you're writing down. Okay, so now what we're going to do, flip back to the front. That's just so that your brain is engaged and thinking, and I really want you to leave after these 30 minutes, 25 minutes with something powerful that you can actually use in your business, implement immediately if you choose. So this benchmarking thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of the sections, those six sections, and I'm not just going to give you the name. I'm actually going to dig down right into the dirt, like I'm planting a really big tree root into the ground. I'm going to dig down because it's the minutia of each of those categories that impacts or potentially causes the overwhelm. So what I'm going to ask you to do is benchmark yourself. Once I've sort of blabbed on about all the things that that one section could entail, and I'm going to ask you to benchmark yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1, you know that you have minimal systems and something could be introduced to make it better. Maybe stuff in that area just doesn't happen easily, smoothly, all the way up the scale to 5. So 5, you actually feel like you got pretty rocking systems, right? You've got systems with the 3 Ps. You've got a process, you do it with precision, and it's productive. And why do we do this? We know that there are absolutely enough tasks to running our business every single day that if we actually don't have clearly defined goals, in the essence of what we're speaking about today, then we can truly become lost in the trivia that we refer to it as working in your business rather than on your business. So I love this quote. And Robert, because I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, so I'm going to act like I know this guy. He was from 1907 to 1988. And the reason why I love this from him is his big bibliography includes 32 novels, 59 short stories, and 16 collections, all published in his one life. So I guess he had clearly defined goals. Okay. So the first thing when we ask people what marketing and networking is, sometimes it becomes a way bigger answer than what it really is. And honestly, a simple answer, and we could debate this later, but we're not going to. So simple answer is marketing and networking is the time and money you spend introducing yourself to people. And we create processes around how we do this. And we measure this portion of the business because you spend time and money on the tools. It's really important when we spend time and or money that we know what's working and what isn't. So when we measure, we can actually then define the results of our investment, time, money. Today, we're actually going to identify where you're doing well, or you're going to identify where you're actually doing well and where you can improve or introduce improvements to see immediate results. So in the first quadrant, there's no like order to the 6. So write lead generation wherever you want. And I'm going to blab about it. And I'm going to dig into this. And then when I'm done blabbing about this, I'm going to ask you to benchmark yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. So just hang on till I'm done blabbing. And remember, 1, not so great. 5, you pretty much rock. Okay. So we know that lead generation is creating the awareness and the interest in our products and services. And if we think about things that we do that are lead generation strategies, I'm going to rhyme off how many do I have here. I'm going to go through 5 because this is probably where I have the most words written down because it is so important. Because lead generation is what brings people to us, new clients to us. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, the CRM systems are essential. I always ask if you have a documented process, but what I want to do is I'm going to talk about these sections in lead generation. And if you've got them, great. You already know you have them. If you don't, maybe write down, just jot down some of the words that I say so that you know what conversations you need to be having with yourself, with your stakeholders, with your business coach, whoever that is. Okay. So one of the strategies that we talk about with lead generation is a referral program. So you might already do this. This is where you're encouraging existing customers to refer friends and colleagues. This might be where you're offering incentives or discounts or free services, right? So a referral program, word of mouth, personal recommendations. they're ambassadors. They're brilliant. These people love you. And who do you refer? You refer people you love. Okay. So content marketing is another methodology that we use to create lead generation. So this is, and this is why this whole section's so big. So when we talk about content marketing, this is, your blog posts, your videos, maybe a free downloadable guide that you offer. This is maybe a case study. This is stuff you share on social media, on your website. You could send this to people via email. Okay. Content marketing as just one section within the lead generation can take people 6 months, 12 months to actually create an entire process around. Networking and local events. So networking, this is I love this, right? So here we are today. Marlene, she's already smiling. Okay, so let's talk about networking and local events. And I'm gonna even dig down deeper into this one little section, right? So we talk about we go to mixers or community events, or you're trying to meet, you go to obviously events like this, but you're trying to meet people who are either your client or who know your ideal client, right? And we talk about, okay, so we're going to go to networking meetings and it's really kumbaya, right? So I don't know if you noticed, like maybe after you listen to a couple of speakers today, you're like, oh, I just feel the love and it's so motivational. And then you forget to write down, oh, right, I have a strategy for this. I'm supposed to be identifying who do I need to meet for coffee and why do I want to meet them for coffee? What can I bring to the table when I meet with them that might help them, can give them something. So we go to networking, we meet for coffee, we exchange marketing materials, maybe especially so much as virtual now. Maybe it's a one pager about who you are so that they have it handy. And then you enter them into your CRM system, right? And you send them a thank you email for the time that you've just spent together. And then you identify what is the next step that you want to take with them. Because if you've connected in some way and you've met network, well, you're going to meet again and again. So what is that one important thing that you can follow up with them on? Sometimes when I'm networking, I just suddenly read a blog or a post or something, and I'm like, hey, I think they would be really interested in this. Or, engaging with them on LinkedIn. So you put all these things in your CRM, in their client file, in your database, right? And you keep in touch. That's a lot of work for one coffee date, eh? Yeah, exactly, right? So think about it this way. When you figure out how many coffee dates you need each month to acquire one new client, then you can ensure that you are scheduling those non-billable hours, but the absolutely necessary non-billable hours into your calendar. You can identify how many of those hours will you allocate in your calendar a week. And it might even actually be like one of those things that you track, like people call them a KPI, like a key performance indicator. What is the thing, that number that you have to hit every month, right? Maybe you've got goals for yourself set around networking. How many events do you attend? How many people do you have to have coffee with to acquire one client? So think about that. The CRM system, that is big and huge. And if you don't have one right now, it might be one of the things that you put on your list. I'm happy to talk about what is it, but it's like a database. So now I'm going to ask you to scale yourself, benchmark yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 in the area of lead gen. Okay. And I know I'm at the 14.5-minute mark. And I think I did say that lead gen was huge, right? So now let's talk about one of the other areas And there are 6 of them. So you're going to throw sales funnel in the next quadrant, right? So you may have taken some notes in the lead gen section about what you want to do. Make sure you pat yourselves on the back here, eh? Because you're all brilliant, period. All of this is just to expand the thinking from someone who works in business with workflow. And workflow in a business is from the front moment that you meet someone out there all the way through to the client retention. So this is the stuff I love. So in your sales funnel, yeah, we have awareness. You're out there creating awareness. And then you have your next few stages. So there's a possible importance to track how many, right? And maybe you set benchmarks for the conversions between stages. Maybe I just said that and your eyes glazed over or your ears shut. So open your ears back up and just think, okay, maybe you don't do that. Maybe that's a little too heavy, too detailed. But the stage in itself, how many clients do you have an awareness? Well, you're doing your lead gen, so you have an idea, right? How many clients have shown interest? Where are they in the interest stage? Have you had your first meeting, your second meeting? Have you followed up to 1 or 2 times with educational, helpful, informational material? Maybe a case study on, someone who is in a similar business as they are, who chose to work with you and what the wonderful successes were, right? Another stage in our sales funnel is the decision stage. So the helpful thing with identifying a decision stage or each of these stages is you can start to see the bottlenecks, right? So maybe your leads are really, really excited to engage with you, but suddenly they're not meeting the decision stage. Well, there's probably something happening, right? There's probably a gap that you might not be seeing in your process, right? So in your sales funnel, from awareness to interest, from a lead interest to decision making, to you actually working with them, taking action to bring them within your community, and your conversion rates and improvement. I'd love you to just jot down your benchmark on a scale of 1 to 5. Do you have an idea of a sales funnel? Do you have these stages? Maybe you've identified some things from me blabbing on about what you could introduce, right? 11 minutes. Okay, I'm going to move on. So, blog, podcast, newsletter. So, content marketing is a really important nurturing tool, and we get that. You could, with that, include metrics like your subscriber count, your open rates, or your engagement rates. And if you're not familiar with what these things are, that's okay too. You might just set a goal with your blog, podcast, newsletter for what you want the growth to be, which then defines your return on investment, right? So when we're talking about your blog and newsletter, you don't have to do all 3, okay? I just want you to think to yourself, what do I have in place here? And am I nurturing the area that I have? Do I have metrics that I look at to know how well I'm doing? Do I have clearly defined goals? And am I tracking all of these results? And at the end of the day, are you getting a return on your investment? So are you acquiring new clients, or new revenue from the efforts that you're putting into your blog, podcast, newsletter? So on a scale of 1 to 5, just measure how well you're doing in this area, how well you feel like you're doing in that area for your business. Okay. So client acquisition and onboarding. I want you to think about your process. What do you have in place for creating an onboarding protocol so that your clients are so satisfied through the whole beginning stage of working with you? Um, because that comfort speaks to your whole marketing and advertising because they saw you, they engaged with you, they decided to buy with you. So, what we're trying to do is maintain that strong, consistent image of who we are and what we say we're going to do, right? So, when you think about client acquisition and onboarding, I want you to think about maybe key indicators like your, what do we call it? Time to first value. How long did it take you to acquire this new client? How is your onboarding process working right now? So, onboarding, the documentation I'll touch on in a minute. Um, and do you also discuss with your client the milestones, the key milestones, and what they should expect from you, when you're going to bill them, when you're going to do a follow up, when they'll be able to get a hold of you? So, all of that client acquisition and onboarding thing, just benchmark how well you think you're doing on a scale of 1 to 5. And the beautiful client retention. So, we all know, I teach this in my business courses at the college, that keeping a client is so much more cost effective than trying to go find new clients, right? Um, but we need to understand what's actually happening with our clients. Like, how long are they going to be a client for approximately? What is the value? I have students, if the phone rings or an email dings, man, that's $100 because you have spent time and money to motivate people to reach out to you, right? So once they've become that client, like, you've done all the hard work. So now you might want to know clearly, what are your client retention rates? What is this customer satisfaction rate? What do you measure in regards to customer satisfaction? What's important? And are these people repeat buyers? And I'm going to stop at the repeat buyer part because that's a whole other area within your business. So I just want you to benchmark yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 around how much do you know? How well is it going? And what are you doing with client retention? Now, the ask. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to have reviews online for credibility, for search engine optimization. And whether you like Google or don't like Google and the potential monopoly, it doesn't really matter. What's really, really important is that your business is continuously showing up in searches for a business like yours, right? So we might be afraid to ask people for a review, but what I would really, really inspire you to do is A, if you already ask everyone you ever work with for a review, give yourself a big, huge check mark beside the ask. If you don't, I would love you to start to strategize. How am I going to start to ask? Um, and there's lots of different things you can do, like maybe just Google. How can I ask for, a client review without feeling salesy or feeling like you're pressuring them? There's lots of info out there. What's interesting is in the book Ask by Ronald Levesque, super interesting because he has this whole ask methodology, which is you prepare your survey, right? Like, what questions are you going to ask them? And he goes all the way through prepare, persuade, and right down to pivot. So the email follow up and the feedback loop, right? So there's lots to think about in the ask, but it's absolutely essential we ask, right? So with the ask, you need to have people aware that you're going to ask. Maybe that becomes one of the onboarding procedures. You want to make it sort of interesting and fun. Like, and what is the decision? What is going to be the motivator for them to actually give you that information, right? Take action. So I'd like you to measure yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 in regards to the ask. And now I have one extra section. And this section I call, and this is the documented process. This is, I don't know if you noticed on every slide, the last bullet point was, do you have the information around your process in each of those sections documented? So this is the documentation. It's an operation manual. Okay. And this actually helps you manage your business. It's just simply one document of where you keep all the processes and procedures for how you actually do things in your business. Because if we were to go back over those 6 sections, oh my gosh, I gotta stop saying that. But how are you going to remember every single detail about how you engage leads? And you can't possibly want to keep the information in your head about how you onboard a new client. Like that stuff should be like, check, check, check. I rock. I understand my process. I know how it works. Now, I tell people it's absolutely crucial for the success, the sustainability, the scalability of your business to have this information documented. It actually improves your strategic decision making because you know what you're measuring, you know what you're tracking, you understand where you're doing well and where you can improve, right? It enhances your accountability to yourself, to the bank, to your lenders, to your stakeholders, and oh, sorry, I just flipped. I get so excited here because if your stakeholders are just you, you're really important. You're a stakeholder. You should not for 1 second be discrediting or thinking, oh, my business is too small for me to write this down. I don't know. I don't know where you're all at, but I got to tell you, everyone's talking about menopause and the memory does slide a little. And honestly, why do you want to keep your onboarding process in your head? All that does is make you the only one who can do the job. And that is not fun. Okay. So, what else does an ops manual do? It streamlines your team collaboration, it facilitates continuous improvement, it supports long term growth. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, I just want you to jot down, do you have an ops manual? Okay. So, now I want you to think, what are you actually going to track? And why? Why does it matter to you right now in your business? It could be that you need more people in your sales funnel. It could be that you want more money. It could be that you want more clients because you love what you do and you're really, really good at it, right? So when are you going to track it? Is this going to be daily, weekly, monthly? And then how are you going to track it? Where are you going to go find those stats, the statistics, the numbers, the all of that stuff? Where do you go find it? If it's how many clicks and opens and those sorts of things, that might be in your constant contact platform, it might be in your MailChimp platform. Maybe you track how long someone spends on different landing pages or different pages on your website, that you log into the back end of the website. So again, why did we write all this down? Easier. Okay. So I want to do this quick activity, and I'm just going to ask, can I attempt this activity and can I potentially take 2 extra minutes?
And we have lots of time. Do you need the chat to be open, Deanne, for that? Or are we
Oh
going to
my
just
gosh. Yeah, you can absolutely,
Okay, I'm
you
going to
can open up
reopen
the
the
chat.
chat. Okay.
And here's what I'm also going to do. So when you're thinking about tracking and measuring what matters, what are you going to track? Why are you going to track it? Right? When will you track it? Oh, there's my 30-second. Okay. Okay, my timer went off. How will you track it? Right? And this then becomes the standards for your business, the benchmark for your business, right? And you'll also know when you're getting off track and you know when you're on track. And here's the last thing. Oh my gosh, I wish I could say it's the last thing I'm going to say. It's not. So, the most important thing about measuring is that we have a clear, definitive answer. Has anyone here ever tried to, I don't know, lose weight? And I know that sounds nuts, but on my journey to lose weight, the days that I overate, although it was only one day, I felt like I weighed 10 pounds more until I got on the scale. I do a check-in. I have a trainer. I do this every week. And those days, all I'm doing is basing it on how I feel emotionally about it. Oftentimes, business owners, leaders only um, base how they feel about their business, how well they're doing based on money in the bank account or some random thing. It's not supposed to be emotional. You actually really want to know when you're hitting the mark and what or where you'll need to adjust and how to celebrate your accomplishments. Okay. So I'm going to ask everyone if they would consider here. Let's see if we can do annotate. Okay. So I'm not sure if everyone has the ability to hover over the bottom of their screen and choose annotate. But if you do, please tell me. And go ahead and write right on the screen, because what I'd love you to do, hang on, I got to go back here. What I'd love you to do is I'd love you to write down one action that you're going to take from here that you're going to do next. Can anyone annotate? Is that a possibility for anyone?
How do you do that, Deanne?
Um, so if you hover over the bottom of your screen, all
Yeah.
your functionalities appear, right? Oh
Mhm.
yeah, someone just did it across the screen.
Well, someone did it, but where are you selecting? I'm in more apps,
Okay,
whiteboard.
so it should be two over from share. So you should see chat and then go
Hmm.
to the right is share, then go to the right is pause, and then the next one should be annotate.
Oh,
Comes
I
up
don't
for
know.
No,
me under view all.
besides share is summary, AI, record, show captions.
For
Oh,
me, it's above audio.
it's
So I go
above
all the way
audio.
to the
Okay,
left and go up, and if I just hover above audio, then it
awesome.
comes up. I don't know if that works for anyone else.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it
Thanks,
does. It's a
Charlene.
little, so yeah, if you hover over audio, it's a
Yep.
little green round button.
Yeah. And I would just love
Ah,
everyone to
cool.
throw their ideas on the screen as to what's the one thing you're going to do next. Because you know what? There's a lot of stuff you could do. We all know that, but I don't care about all that stuff. I want you to leave happy with one thing, like you're skipping down the street going, do, do, do. I'm going to do this one thing and I rock. That's all you need to do, because tomorrow's a different day. Okay, a referral program, brilliant. Automate asking for reviews. Yay! Write a process procedure manual. Oh, who's making my heart beat a little faster? So I was thinking you'll be speaking with me. Thank you. Automate appointment bookings. Oh, damn straight. Yeah, absolutely. Start a CRM. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can move some of these around so they aren't over each other. I don't even know if I can do that. Chris, you might be able to do that. I don't know.
I can try.
Make the time. Thank you.
Let's see.
Onboarding checklist. Oh, I love it. Love it. Reevaluate whether or not to pivot from my current lead gen system. Sweet. Okay. Survey clients. Yeah. Write a process procedure manual.
No,
And
it's not letting me move them. Sorry, Deanne.
okay. No worries. No worries. But this is the reason why I do this is I also think it's really, really important. You just see what other people are thinking and talking about, right? There's a million different things you can do in your business. Mine for old diamond clients in my backyard. Hey, is that a Judy Hughes client?
How did you know?
I love it. I love it. Okay. So this is great. This is great. Crade and Ops manual. Yeah, I tell you, like table of contents in a Word doc, giddy up, right? Okay. So if I can somehow, I'm going to move forward from here. I know that everyone didn't annotate on there, but thank y'all for who did. Okay. And it's really, really, it's that methodology of learning, right? So you hear it and then you say, I'm going to do it, and then you're more motivated to do it. And why do we do this? Because we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. And thank you, Aristotle. That quote's from a few links ago, that's for sure. So here's how I'm going to wrap up. Alexander Graham Bell, I love his quote, concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to focus. So if you're inspired to actually dig into an insight session where we look at all the key areas of business functionality within your business, and we do a broader dig down. This is just marketing and advertising. Feel free to book your session with me. You can go onto the website, you can click get started, you can click get acquainted, click anywhere, just book a session with me. It's a 25-minute talk, it's virtual. And what it really does is gives us a chance to talk and figure out, hey, should we work together, or should you be just focusing on certain things working with your business coach, if Claudine's your coach, or who your accountability team members are, right? So sometimes you just want to talk to someone who's got ridiculous energy around process and procedure. And we will figure out what your next steps should be. So I cannot thank you all enough for giving me this time. I hope you all stayed awake. And I wish you all such incredible success, especially with the one thing that you want to start to do.